Hello, everybody. Reggie Time here, and a little bit of something different today. We're going to be looking at some hands I've played on Unibet over the last day or so. But before I get into that, for those watching this on YouTube, I'm also posting this to a relatively new Facebook group that I created because my large Facebook group that I created, crikey, over 10, 12 years ago, it's got like loads of like bots in it, shill accounts, dead accounts, etc. It's kind of a dead group. So I've created a new group, mostly aimed at UK players. I created it initially with the intention of using it to provide content to players who play in the union games I'm in, and also to act as kind of a recruitment tool reminder that we're there. I'm still using it for that, but I'm also now going to use it to post my non private game related videos too as well as YouTube. So if you are a UK based poker player, then please feel free to join the group from the links in the comments. Sorry, it's not really open to overseas players. Especially ones that come and they're in like, so if you're an overseas player and I can see you're a real person on Facebook and you're not in about a million groups, then I'll happily accept you. But you get so many players from like all around the world, and like they're in 20,000 groups, and you're like, are they a bot? Are they a real person? Whatever. Can't be bothered with them. If you're a real person with a real interest in poker, and you don't look like you're a bot or a whatever spammer, then I'll let you in. But otherwise, if you're randomly from Vietnam and you're in 1,000 other groups, then you ain't getting in. And I'm assuming that those types of people aren't even listening to this. They're just following links and shit. So yeah, please join that group. And please do consider, if you're a recreational player especially, joining the private games. When you get in that group and you see the videos of the private games and how wild they are and how different they are to your standard games or whatever you play, GG, PokerStars, etc., I'm sure you'll look at it and think, I wouldn't mind having a go at that, but I've got some concerns. If you have any concerns, just message me beneath the video or PM me, and I'll be happy to try and alleviate them for you or reassure you. So without further ado, let's get into these hands. We're playing this top left table here with the pocket sixes. This player, he was at multiple tables, and he's got a shit annoying screen name. Things that we can very much ascertain from that is he's a fucking idiot and probably very, very annoying. Bro with all the zeros. There's things happening here. Like, he's probably semi-obnoxious, if not completely obnoxious. He almost certainly overrates his ability at poker, or just overrates himself in general in life. He probably posts selfies in places where he's got fucking shades on and like, look at me, aren't I fucking cool? He's probably just a cunt, to be honest. So let's move on. We flop a set of sixes. He bets on the larger side, even with these players who think they're good, etc., blah, blah, blah. And even though they've probably looked at a few fucking simulations on GTO Wizard, etc., and think they like know what they're doing, a lot of the time there will still be a fair chunk of bet size equals hand strength going on. Not saying all of the time, not as reliable as it is when a fish does it, but he's playing 25 on Unibet, so he's probably not a fucking genius either. So we go with an egregious raise size, like around 5x it's going to be. 6x, sorry. And I don't know if it's going to come up in this video or not, but please don't think this is just Reg doing this with the set. If I had a hand like a flush draw, or if I had a hand like 8-7 of hearts, etc., this would just be my raise size. For me, people make like lots and lots of mistakes in these kind of spots with their raise sizing, in my opinion. They're check raising, therefore they are representing a polarized range. And then they'll just use a fucking dog shit size that does not really represent polarity. I'm not going to be check raising very often. When I am, it's just going to be my very, very good made hands like this one, or it's going to be my draws that I'm willing to get in with. And then once in a blue moon, it'll be something with a key blocker, but that's rare. It's normally, look at me, I've got a very good hand or I've got a very good draw, and I want to get max value when I've got my very good hand, and I want to achieve max fold equity when I've got my very good draw. But therefore, when I do run into the top of your range, I'm just going to be calling it off, etc. So that's what's going on here. Your man jams, we obviously call, we're off to the races, and we lose. And I'd rather he made a flush than a straight, to be honest. You know, get there with your flush, mate. Don't go running straight. Just hit your fucking flush and get on with it. Next hand should be coming any second now. My editing skills wouldn't be the greatest. Here we have the king out of diamonds, so we're looking at the same table. Similar theme to earlier. I don't really 3-bet linearly. I just 3-bet polar and quite narrow, to be honest with you. And my overall 3-bet stat is around between 7 and 8%. And it's mostly just very, very good hands. And then some random spew hands, like this one, for example. This isn't something I would always do. I don't randomize. I just do random things now and again for no particular reason, like this. I have no good reason to do this other than, fuck it, I'm just doing it. Which is random enough in itself, I guess. So we do go for the squeeze. We get through Bro, the fucking tit. But Henke decides to keep us honest. We flop top pair. And again, a mistake I see players of all different abilities making, from like the really bad players to the players who think they're good but they're not, is they're far too fucking mergy on the early streets and they get themselves in a huge mess. Is our hand strong enough to bet for value here? Yeah. Is it strong enough to bet for value and be all in at some point? Because it's a squeeze pot? Probably, maybe. I don't fucking know. But I tell you what I don't mind doing with it. Just checking and letting people just do their own thing. If he's got a better king, we're getting stacked anyway. So just fucking check and let him do random shit with random hands. And if he does check back, well, then we'll just be all in ourselves over the turn of the river because the SPR is just 3. So we're going for check here. He bets half pot. We do nothing but call. Turn should be a break, I guess. Ace-4, 6-4 suited, if the bad enough is in there. Ace-4 don't need to be bad to have ace-4 suited, but you do need to be bad to have 6-4 suited. More of that later, though, because I'm going to make myself a big fucking idiot after saying that, because I've just had a flashback to a hand that's coming. Here he's just around half pot again. We could shove at this point, but I don't really see what the purpose of that, what that would achieve. But we'd get it in against top of his range. Maybe we'd get him to call off with some random flush draws that might give up river, but whatever. Who gives a fuck? Not me. We check again. He's all in, we call, and he had an absolute airball, and that was nice. Sorry, I'm trying to get. I put some fucking weird hands in that don't really warrant reviewing. I'm trying to get to the next ones. What a fucking editor I am. There we are. Yeah, I had 4-5 up here. So we raise pre, check back flop, turn, we turn trips. We assume. Reg, you should have gone for the overbet, you dick. When he checks flop and then checks turn, he's capped as fuck. We're just going to start betting a lot of hands there. Yeah, I think when we check back flop, just polarizing turns, nice versus the second check. I don't like my size. That's a mistake from me. Then he just decides to lead out for a small overbet on the river when the flush gets there. It's not fun, but he's checked twice and now he's just bet the river. If he's got a flush, he's got a flush. I think he's going to have a flush a decent amount of the time here, but the pot's relatively small. I've got trips and I'm not folding trips. It's just bottles down to that, basically. And we ran into deuces, deciding to bluff. King 10 suited now on the top left table. We open. We get 3-bet by a player who was playing more than one table. This is the thing about Unibet. When you see these players like that bro earlier and what have you, and there's some more coming up later in the video, like on Unibet, you can create 5 different aliases and you can change 3 of them every 24 hours. So if you're playing on the same account at multiple tables, you're a fucking idiot. Legitimately, you're fucking dense. You're absolutely thick as mince. You're the fucking stupidest stupid get. You make Donald Trump look like a fucking Mensa genius. You're just a fuckwit of the highest order. Why would you do that? Like, you're playing at multiple tables. You're playing against me at 3 tables. I get 3 times as much information about you that you get about me. And it's a game of incomplete information. I just don't know what to say to you. I mean, there probably won't be many people who play Unibet watching this, but if you do, and you are the sort of player who will just like 6 table the same account, fucking grow up, you fucking dribbling mess. It's just a stupid, stupid thing to do. Anyways, we continue. When about to make a loose float on the flop, when he finally gets around to c-bet, he tanks and then c-bets 2/3 pot. Theoretically not a good board for his range. Reasonable board for me, who's supposed to have like probably pocket pairs here, suited connects, etc. Whereas he is going to be playing very much more the top left-hand corner of a range chart, like aces, kings, queens, jacks, and a lot of ace, king, king, queen, ace, queen, etc. He's gone with a big bet here, which would suggest he does have an overpair quite a lot of the time, but I'm not sure. Well, I don't know, but I just decided I wanted to fuck about with him a little bit because I was kind of like, well, that's not really your board. There's going to be a lot of turn cards coming off that you're going to fucking despise. So let's see one and see if we can make something happen. Turn is a 6. He now bets just over half pot. Probably just has an overpair and probably just fucking merging. Or maybe he just decided to randomly bluff with something when he just doesn't have straights in his range very often. This is just a nonsense bet from him. I mean, I'm about to shove, and if he calls me with aces, fucking good for him. But if he's a regular, I don't know why he's betting this board. I don't know why he's betting so fucking big on this board. And yeah, I just decided, like Mike McDonald in Rounders, fuck this guy. I'm just going to outplay him this hand right now. I don't give a fuck about the money. I'm just going to outplay him. So that's what I decided to try and do. And he folded, and I was a happy boy. It's going to take a fold. On to the next hand. We have the ace and the queen. We've opened. This guy's another fucking... Not only does he play the same name every at the same tables, he doesn't change his screen name day in, day out. He's an absolute uber fucking idiot. I've got to be really careful I don't use words that I don't want to use that I use privately. But yeah, fucking real idiot. C-bet's weird size on this board. He double barrels a turn. Nothing we can do with our top pair. We just have to call him down, and if he's not bluffing, stinks for us. He now checks the river. Why did I check back there? Why has that made it into a video? It was made into a video because it was just evidence that these so-called good, aggressive regulars. He no doubt will think he is because he's playing every single fucking table that's going just about. He'll think he's good at poker. And even those players, when they fire the third barrel, they've just got it most of the time. I would have folded to a third barrel there, I expect. And even more so now in future when I see him. If he triples in a 3-bet pot, we're just going to massively overfold on the third barrel because his first and second barrels there, as you could see, were like semi-equity driven. Then he just gave up on the end. And it's not just him. Most players do it. When people are triple barreling, the third barrel is just going to be the sort of thing you're going to want to overfold to a lot. Now and again, people will get a bluff past you, but they won't be bluffing at a high enough frequency for you to give a fuck about just massively overfolding. Next hand, Jack 7 suited. Fish opens, we call. No idea what's going on. This might be one of the nonsense ones that I didn't mean to put in, actually. Yeah. I end up deciding to just randomly spew bluff the river because I didn't believe him. Check, then half pot. Just bet, make him fold everything. That was my theory. Raise, make him fold everything, and it worked. But, like, pointless hand to put in a video. Ace, King, suited. These hands are from this morning. This Aluzuko was obviously a reg. He's playing several tables. I decided not to 4-bet because fuck them. Like, these regs do... Like, they're just 3-bet good, better, and best hands. They're not polar when they're 3-bet. So, therefore, I enjoy just, like, calling with very good hands that they would expect me to 4-bet and watch them sometimes value on themselves too thinly or sometimes just bluff it off on boards that, quote-unquote, favour them. It's very, very much not theory approved. I probably shouldn't do it, but I enjoy doing it and I play poker for fun, so I just do it anyway. Here we have the ET call, of course. Turn break. See you on the river, dude. River break. And here comes the third barrel from a regular. And guess what? It's not a bluff. Nobody is ever shocked by that shit. Going to be up against the same player now at this table over here. The ace 10 suited. Limp from a fish. ISO from a reg. We just call the bottom. Want to play in position with the reg in single race pots. Want to keep the fish in, etc., etc. Reg comes with a small size, probably quite normal. Turn. He checks. We just have showdown value here against king highs, etc.
Someone is at the front door.
Someone is at the front door, so we're going to pause the video. So I've lost my train of thought in this hand, but the turn went check. I checked back because I think I've got showdown value. I don't really think reopening the betting achieves anything. So I just check back. River, he checks to us again. I decide he is like omega capped to not very much, but he might overreact to a 10% bet. That was my logic here. Looking forward to calling when he makes it like fucking 30 big blinds or something and just being delighted with the situation. However, he rams it all in and I was less delighted with the situation. I did contemplate folding because I think like the all-in rather than the 30 blinds is significant. In the end, I decided versus probably a shit aggro reg, I couldn't induce and then fold, and he decided to turn second pair into a bluff, which was absolutely mission accomplished from my perspective. So let's move on. I've totally lost track of what I'm doing in this video now, but whatever. 6-5 suited. Another player who's like playing multiple tables with the same name because he's a fucking idiot. So we go with the tiny 3-bet just because why not? We get 4-bet, which is not fun when I've got 6 high, but fuck folding. Clock comes down 10-4-4. He bets big. We only have backdoors. I'm hoping he's just going to give up with ace king. And we call, hoping to, at some point, bluff. We turn more equity. He bombs it for a big size. If we call here, we've only got 24 big blinds left behind. But going all in, he's just going to waste those extra 24 big blinds. We can maybe just fold. I don't fucking know. We got ourselves in a right royal mess. I think jamming's completely pointless because he's never folding. So just call, get there, win the other 24 bigs, or miss and save 24 bigs. That was my mindset in the moment. But I have got myself in quite the pickle. We call, river, double pairs the board. He's 4-bet pre. The chances of him having a full house here are slim to 0. Would be slightly worried about having a better flush, but whatever. If he has, we just have to die. He does go all in. And because I'm an absolute primo cunt, I decide to slow roll him and just hope that I'm not slow rolling myself. And there's every chance I could be, but I never turn down a slow roll opportunity when I'm playing on the mainstream sites. So we do call. He had jacks, and that was fucking delightful. Last hand, I think. Pocket 4 might not be the last hand, but I think it is. We call an open from a fish. We flop top pair, mid bottom set. On a board like this, where there's like all kinds of draws out there, we don't interfere with anything here. We don't block any draws. We don't block any pairs that can call, etc. Yeah, it's just, let's just put a massive fucking bet in and try and get value. Here, my bluffs would be things like Jack Queen suited. I would do the same with all 4 of my combos of Jack Queen suited. Ace Queen, I would probably just check back because we have showdown value, etc. But here, we're just trying to stack somebody. You get a call. Then he decides to lead the turn for a big size. And when he does this, he's just probably never folding. So there's no reason to slow play against a fish. No reason whatsoever. We tank a little bit and then shove. He's got ace king and he's drawing dead. And that is delightful. And that is indeed the end of the video. So thank you very much for watching. If you have watched this on Facebook, remember, please do go and sign up to the, on YouTube, sorry, please do go and sign up to the new Facebook group. The link will be in the comments beneath the video, not in the actual like more details bit, because for some reason I can't make links work in there. So after the video gets uploaded, I will post in the comments section with a link to the video. So thank you very much for watching. Come along and join me in the private games if you would like to do that. If you don't like to do that, that's completely fine. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'm out of here. Take care, everybody, and bye-bye for now.